And I discovered that I think that for all those naysayers out there, Macs are probably the best engineered computer that you can get out. It was like an overnight revelation of everything I've been missing for many years.
Welcome to Macpreneur, the show for seasoned solopreneurs looking to streamline their business on a Mac. Unlock the secrets to saving time and money with your host and technology mentor, Damien Schroers.
Hello. Today I have the pleasure to introduce Aliki Samone. Aliki is a vibrant entrepreneur who blends science and creativity. As an author, singer-songwriter, muralist, engineer, and technical project manager, she excels in crafting life plans that balance all these deep passions. After a decade in spacecraft design and program management, she left the industry to lay out the Summit Method, a life planning technique that she has developed for over 10 years. She has helped countless individuals through her Conquer Your Summit platform, inspiring others to pursue their passions and reach for the stars. Aliki, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Talk about some tech, right? And how we use this tech to better our lives and our businesses.
Exactly. So, let's jump right into the main topic. Which Mac are you using right now to run your business?
Yes, I have a MacBook Pro specifically. It's Apple M1 Pro. Yeah.
And so what do you like about your Mac?
Well, you know what? I'm going to say one quick thing. I will admit I'm an engineer, so I come from absolute hatred of Mac, right? Engineers usually, and it's usually because of the software that we have to use. You have to have a Windows Parallels or run something to be able to get into Windows if you have a Mac. And so I grew up in a career that nobody had Macs. Everybody poo-pooed all over Apple. And I probably 5 or 6 years ago, I started recording all my own music. As you mentioned in my bio, I'm a musician, I'm an author, I'm also an entrepreneur in business, and I've also been in corporate tech. There's so many things, but that music side, the creative side, I needed a Mac. I wanted to get Logic Pro, I wanted to get other systems and start recording my music. So my story really began in I transitioned into learning how to use a Mac, right? And I discovered that I think that for all those naysayers out there, Macs are probably the best engineered computer that you can get out. It was like an overnight revelation of everything I've been missing for many years. So I give that plug as not only a creative, but as an engineer, but also now an entrepreneur. My MacBook has done everything for me, all of my development, and it has been my trusty companion along the way. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, coming from an engineering background too, obviously, yes, Windows PCs were the thing that we were using, but it was mostly for the office kind of applications. So for email, reports, and presentations and stuff like that. But for the true engineering job that I was doing, I was a simulation engineer. And we were using big Unix machines, right? So we were half of the time on a big Unix machine, like machines, computers that would cost tens of thousands of dollars a pop, right? And it was nothing compared to our engineering salary, obviously. But yeah, they were ready to spend that amount of money. And for me, the appeal of the Mac was because at the time, so it was 2007, what few people know is that Mac OS is actually a fully, I don't know the exact name, but basically it's a Unix totally compatible operating system. And so coming from the Unix environment, I was able to use the command line interface. I was able to as well install and run off Microsoft Windows on the side as well. And so for me at the time, 2007, it was the perfect machine.
Sounds like it. And it's continued to be awesome.
Yeah, now with the transition to Apple Silicon, the M1, M2, M3 processors, I was a bit worried at the beginning. Will we be able to still run Windows on the Mac and so on? But I'm okay now. I'm relieved that Parallels and VMware Fusion, they have been able to adapt the software to run Windows on the Mac. Is it something that you still do today, or you don't need that anymore?
It is not. It is not something I still do today, actually. I have my new favorite apps and things that I use my Mac for now.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. What apps do you use the
Sure.
most on your Mac?
Well, I would say number one, and it might sound weird, is Photo Booth. So I am someone who, as an author, I have a lot of social media. I'm trying to create videos and courses or join podcasts like this one. And yes, I can usually like throw up a Zoom and invite myself into a Zoom and try to test video. But actually, I open up Photo Booth and I can easily turn on my camera, check, am I in frame? What's my frame look like? Is my audio working if I go over to the movie side? And it's just quicker, easier than jumping through some of the Zoom hoops. So I love that. It's also a great way to just hit record really quickly and be able to very immediately get feedback on, am I ready for this podcast? Am I ready for a social media post or whatever I might be doing? Are my cameras set up in the right way? So Photo Booth is not just, I feel like as a child, it was like making funny photos and, and doing silly things, but it can actually really help you as a content creator. Yeah, that's my favorite. But what I will pair to that, and I don't even know if it has an actual official name, but recently Apple released the kind of video filter function, if you will. You might know the actual name of it. I don't know. I just know at the top of my screen, I have a button I can select and I can turn on studio light and portrait mode or have these reactions that I've had to learn to turn off when I do podcasts. Otherwise, all of a sudden fireworks are happening in the background. But that, I say both of those because the Photo Booth is part of the whole content and video. And then I just absolutely love being able to turn on studio light. And you can see that live magical difference that your Mac is doing to put a darkness in your background, bring a lightness toward your face, and really create a dynamic contrast, which can look great in any kind of video environment. Portrait is the easy, I need a little bit of a blur, right? I don't want you to see my background. Now, I don't usually care about people seeing my background because I've tried to set up my space to have something interesting to look at. But in a pinch, turn on portrait mode. It's right there. And if you want to liven things up, right, you can turn on reactions and here I go. I'm now have fireworks happening in my background, which if timed at the right spot can be pretty awesome in a video. You just have to make sure you remember what your hand symbols are doing. I have definitely recorded videos and done live podcasts where it was not great that a bunch of fireworks happened in the middle of my sentence. So that's my number one or my number 1, 2 paired together, I would say.
Yeah, Photo Booth. I don't remember the last time I launched it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thank you for reminding me that Photo Booth exists because I remember that back when I started looking at Mac, so between 2000 and 2007, whenever we would go to an Apple store, non-official because we don't have an official one in Luxembourg yet, but that would be the first thing we would fire up in the shop, right? We would access the Mac, launch Photo Booth, and make funny photos and videos. And I think still today, if you go to an Apple store and you have access to a Mac, open a Photo Booth and see what other people have recorded. Sometimes it's quite funny.
Absolutely. I have those memories as well.
Yeah. So just on a side note, the reactions, the video filters, being able to blur the background and so on, this is native now on all Apple Silicon Macs. And so if you, the listener, like me, you have still an Intel-based Mac, like I have now to record the podcast, I'm still able to do that, but there's a small tweak, right? So I'm connecting my iPhone 14 Pro Max to my iMac via a cable, and I can use then my iPhone as a camera. And when the iPhone is used as a camera, then what Aliki talked about, you go into top right corner, you go to control center, you then have access to the same capability. But if you have an Apple Silicon Mac, you can do that with a built-in camera, which is pretty slick. And yeah, so what other apps are you using, whether from Apple or from third-party developers?
Okay, yeah. I will say that I am a musician, as I mentioned before, so Logic Pro is something that I jump into to do all my music recording. It's a great bridge between probably what professional studios are using and then lower level audio recording. It definitely provides this beautiful transition. Love it. I have recorded songs myself, and one of them is actually published. You can go on Spotify or YouTube Music or Apple Music, whatever you use, and search my name and see a song. And I recorded and created that all in Logic Pro. Beautiful, awesome, love Logic Pro. That's on that side. And I will share a recent favorite app is actually Camo Studio. So I bring this one up because I love my MacBook, but I've been an Android user my whole life, right? I'm a Google person and I never ended up getting an iPhone. I've had a Pixel actually for forever since I have Google Project Fi, their what do you call it? Their phone service. So for a long time, you couldn't even get an iPhone with that. So I've always struggled because I can't pair my phone to my Mac. I can't have that beautiful connectivity or the ability to throw up my iPhone camera and have it be synced and have different screens. So I recently discovered this Camo Studio, which is a fantastic app that allows you to just scan a QR code from your Android phone. I'm sure it also works with Apple and Samsung and whatever phone you have. And then it will pull up on your Mac the footage, the live feed of whatever your phone, but you can choose the back cameras or the front cameras. And this has recently really unlocked some of my social media posts or other videos I'm creating, because when I'm trying to record myself, I don't want to be recording myself with a front camera, because usually if I hold up a book or something, the text is all mirrored funny and you can tell I'm looking at it. So this actually opened up the ability to still use some of the really good camera tech that is in a lot of phones these days, but port it directly into my computer, which has always been a challenge, not having the Apple connection. It's fighting the Android Apple. So for anyone out there who has maybe a MacBook they love, but they never converted over to an iPhone, Camo Studio is a great app that can help you with video pairing.
Yeah, and I would add to that it's also a very nice way to have a multi-camera setup as well, right? So you can still use the built-in camera of your Mac, but then you can connect. I'm connecting an old iPhone XR, and I did that earlier today when I did a live stream. I had a camera on the side, and so that was the second camera, if you want. And what is nice with Camo Studio is that, first of all, you can use it for free. It's a freemium application. With the free version, if I recall correctly, you're limited to 720 pixel resolution. If you want full resolution 1080p, then you need to pay for the... Do you know if it's a subscription or it's a one-time fee?
I don't. Good question.
I will have a look at that. Yeah. And but yeah, it works with iPhones, with Android devices. It works even if you have an old iPod or even an iPad laying around. You don't know what to do with your old Apple gear. Well, you install Camo on the device. So you need to install the mobile app on the device. You install Camo Studio on the Mac, and then you can either connect them via Wi-Fi or you can connect them via a cable. And yeah.
And I just looked it up. It looks like it is a subscription-based thing. So you can do annual or change
It's
it.
a subscription-based, yes. Yeah, it's a great application to recommend, Camo Studio, especially when you want to do multi-camera setups. So I'm using Ecamm Live for the live streaming part of it. And with Ecamm Live, you can configure multiple cameras. And then you can switch, you can create scenes, one scene with the front-facing camera, another scene with the side camera. And yeah, you can really play with that. And yeah, the Camo Studio camera appear as a available webcam in any application, right? In Zoom, Google Meet. So you can really choose which camera you want for those kind of things. Great. And so if you were in charge of the Mac division at Apple, what would be your first priority?
That's a great question. First priority, man, that makes it sound like I got to have something serious here. I don't know if, I guess it's my personal first priority. Okay, so I had a couple of different Macs. The current one I'm using is yes, an M1. I've had it for, I think I bought it in 2022, so I've had it for a few years now. And I recently was on a newer Mac. And of course, the battery life lasts forever, it seems like. And I feel like battery life is so important to all of us and our phones and our devices. And what if I want to go to a coffee shop and get some work done, or I'm on a remote location for a job? What do I do? And I found that over time, of course, my battery has continued to degrade, let's say. And I'm sure that to all your listeners out there, and probably yourself, they may know more of the tech behind batteries, how long they last, why they go down over time. But I do know that some of that has to do with charging, right? So if you throw your cable in and you just leave it in, and great, you have that beautiful bright green indicator to say, hey, I'm fully charged. But it'd be great if there was a method, maybe there is already out there, to allow the machine to actually just stop charging, right? Because I'm not in my room all the time, and then I come in hours later and it's like, let me get that off of the plug. I don't want to keep charging it at full charge all the time, since I have noticed machines in the past decade faster when I do that. So I'd love there to be an automatic stop charging. A lot of these electric vehicles today have some of those capabilities, or even charge up to this percentage, and really focus on battery life. It would increase the longevity of the device. Now, that being said, maybe Apple doesn't want to increase the longevity of everyone's devices, since I'm sure they would love to get some more sales over time. But I think that would really help a lot of people out who do want to keep their device for many, many years.
Yeah, I think they have been implementing, or they've started to implement, iPhone-like features for MacBooks. If I recall correctly, I think it's since Sonoma, so macOS 14 Sonoma. My MacBook Pro, I recently upgraded to Sonoma, and what annoys me actually is one time I needed to leave to a client, and the battery was stuck at 80%. So there is some kind of a setting there where you could tell it, like on the iPhone, charge quickly up to 80% and then trickle charge to avoid damaging the battery. But you're right, we should have more control, right? macOS should provide much more control than that. There are applications, their sole job is you have full control over when to charge, when to discharge, like even giving you notifications, right? Reminding you, okay, it is 70% or 80%, unplug use it for a while, and then when it goes below a certain threshold that you define, again, you get another notification asking you, okay, you can now plug it in again. Okay, well, very good. Thank you very much for sharing how you are using your Mac to run your business.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm excited to share and hopefully get some more people inspired to use their Mac in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So where can people find you online?
Absolutely. The best place to find me online is head over to Instagram. I have a handle, The Summit Method, which is a method I teach in life planning, at The Summit Method. You can check out Aliki Samone and everything that I'm doing over there.
Very good. Thank you very much. And so if, like Aliki, you would like to share how you are using your Mac to run your solopreneur business, it's simple. Just visit macpreneur.com/apply. If you are already on Podmatch, just click on the button and you will land on the show profile. Otherwise, fill the application form and I will get back to you within a few days. Once again, it's macpreneur.com/apply. In the comments below, please share your main takeaway from this episode. And if not done yet, please subscribe to my channel so you will get more helpful tips on how to run your business on your Mac. And until next time, I'm Damien Schreus, wishing you a great day.
Thank you for watching the Macpreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave a comment and share it with a friend right now.